So I decided to do two of these book review things back to back. The second section is going to be on fiction. So this is my five picks of fiction that I've read in the last couple months. They're all actually pretty good. I particularly like fiction, so maybe I'm a little biased, but this includes things like mystery, historical fiction, whole gambit. But these are just the five best that I've read in the last little while. So the first one is called The God of the Wood, and this is the worst one. God of the Woods, sorry. This is the worst one of the five. It's sort of a mystery thing. It's set at a camp that's owned by a very rich family, and it's sort of one of those who done it, why they do it, what's going on books. And it's okay. It's an enjoyable read. You don't have to think that hard. There were parts of it that didn't really make sense. At the end, I was like, why did this happen a little bit? And like, how did that not happen? And why'd they do that? But it was still pretty compelling, and it's easy, fast read, and it's not that long. So if you got like a weekend and you want to kill a book, this is a good book to murder. The next one, also another one of these mystery sort of books, is called The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. A little bit better, made more sense than God of the Woods. It kind of reminded me a lot of White Lotus, and I read it right after the third season of White Lotus, so it was sort of scratching an itch. It's set in, yet again, sort of a camping cabin sort of environment. I've read a few books by Lucy Foley, and she seems to follow the same sort of formula for these White Lotus sort of things where the murder happens, and then you try to find out why it happened, who did it, and what went on. Like, they find the body, and then there's a whole mystery going on there. It's pretty good. Like, I enjoyed that book. It's trash, like it's a garbage book, but it's an enjoyable read, and another book to cross off the list if you got a weekend to do something, you're going on a trip and you don't want to think too hard while you're sitting on the beach. The next one is Tomorrow, Tomorrow, and Tomorrow, which I particularly liked because I spent some time making video games, and it's all about a group of friends who get together and make a video game, or and then a company, and go from there. It's a love story without being gushy. It's sort of a coming of age book, and it's really good. It was the first book I read from the library since I got a library card, and it holds a special place in my heart because it was a really good introduction to the library, and I really enjoyed it. It didn't take too long to read. It wasn't crazy long, so it's another one of these just normal length books. It's not a brick like a fantasy novel. It's a thin little fiction book. So that one's pretty good. I highly recommend that one. I'd give it like 8 out of 10, maybe even 8.5 out of 10. So I enjoyed it a lot. The next one, another one I really, really liked because it's called Demon Copperhead. And it's sort of set in, I think it's the South of America. Not South America, but like South of America. And it's sort of about rednecks and hillbillies and stuff, and the story of one kid and his journey throughout life. It's really good. It's another one of these coming of age, liminal moment type books, and it's really well written. It's Barbara Kingsolver, which is a hell of a name, and she earned it. Like, it's a good book, and I liked it a lot because the kid's kind of creative, and I get into people who draw on books. I find that interesting. It's a little close to home, so it's interesting. There's drug addiction, there's adversity, there's all sorts of stuff. It's sad, it's happy, it's got everything, and it has a very good arc to it. Like, there's conclusions to everything. All these books actually conclude relatively well. Like, none of them are left you to going, what? Like, what happened? That stupid ending. Which, I get a lot when I read like science fiction and stuff. The ending, they don't know what to do, so they just cut it short, and these books have a decent ending. The last one, and actually the best, and this was recommended to me by a university professor that I was dating for a little while, and it's called In Memoriam, and it gets off to the wrong foot a little bit. I was feeling a little weird. I didn't know what type of message she was trying to send me because it is set in World War One, and a lot of it is incredibly homosexual. And that's a weird thing to get from somebody you're dating. So that was a little weird, but it's really good. And it's about sort of like brotherly love and man-on-man romance and I don't know how terrible World War One was, and I'm not selling it very well, but it's incredibly well written. It's endearing, it's fascinating, it's suspenseful, it's got great plot points. It's just a good book. I highly recommend it. It probably is the best book out of the last 42 I've read this year so far. And yeah, it's just awesome. So check them out. And yeah, and I hope you read all five of these because they're all pretty good. You know, God of the Wood, you might want to skip because it's but the rest are all really, really good. So yeah, enjoy.